Hello everyone, we back here with Nico Alabas and Pedro Torres casting this top 4 right now. GGtoor and Chill TCG Pokemon TCG tournament, $1,000 cash, free to play. Yeah, we're in the top 4. How you doing, Nico? All good?
I'm still doing good. We actually get to see, our winner from last round again. Cataracts at the top, this time against Augusto, with actually one of the 3 single strike decks that are in top 8. So it's actually the battle single strike versus rapid strike. Pretty uneven if you ask me. Only one rapid strike, 3 single strikes, but maybe rapid strike will still be able to come out on top at the end.
Yeah, it's actually hype. I was watching the top 4 matches, and we want to watch this first amazing matchup between both archetypes of Urshifu, the single strike against the rapid strike. Who is gonna be the best type? It's gonna be the rapid, it's gonna be the single. We will check it out in this matchup, and after this amazing matchup, we will see a mirror match with some different decks. It's gonna be really interesting to watch how both players manage their resources in that mirror with some different decks between both single strikes. So at least one Urshifu is guaranteed to the finals, and now in this one single, and this matchup already start with Sobel Energy Pass, looks like, and Laser Focus from the Urshifu, putting a lot of pressure to the Sobel, and the Keep Calling, my favorite attack from this baby Sobel, putting Urshifu and double Sobel. So actually Augusto, in a fine spot, probably Augusto is gonna take the first prize thanks to the Laser Focus on 1, right?
Yeah, I mean, he can definitely take the first KO if he wants to, and overall, the matchup definitely kind of feels unfavored for the person that basically misses the first attack, right? Because if Rapid Strike gets to Rapid Flow first into 2 VMAXs, just like in a lot of other VMAX decks, it should be favored. But if the single strike deck is able to just take out one VMAX before the rapid strike gets to take, then it's the other way around. So I feel like this is definitely going to come down to who can just swing the tempo first. But Augusto here is just able to take the knockout if he wants to. Doesn't even have to evolve into the VMAX, so doesn't even have to put a single VMAX in danger here. For example, let's say Cadrax next turn goes for the rapid flow, wouldn't have a single VMAX to rapid flow, and Augusto could just bench more Urshifus the turn after and evolve one of those. So it's definitely going to be interesting how both players decide to play this matchup out, because there's definitely a couple of different ways how this matchup could go.
Exactly, and it was really interesting to see how Augusto was kind of punished for doing the stadium before the research. I was thinking Augusto doesn't need anything, so I was thinking he will actually research at a stadium later, and the stadium was really unfortunate because it draws Ordinary Rod, what is super important in this matchup to recover your Hundums, and it drew a Hundum, so he actually scattered both with the research. That's what I was thinking. All right, just research, just in case if you use the stadium first, it will give you 2 cards you don't want to discard. And it was that was the case because there's no more Rod, and 1 Hundum in the list cap buy would definitely could be annoying because Gmax Rapid Flow plus some Inteleon snipes could take the Chaos into the Hundum. So that's actually the one Umbreon V in play. We remind the Umbreon VMAX, that's the ability to cast one of your opponent Pokemon from the bench to the active. So there is a Hundo right now that took from the prizes. So actually that's a Quick Ball, and after double Drizzle, that's another Moltres. Trying to repeat the same plays than before, discarding the Darkness Energy with the Quick Ball, benching Moltres, and research for fresh 7 cards. So that's actually nice comeback, and let's see if DangerousRogue draws some Urshifu VMAX to start Gmax overflowing or not. Like Nico said, I guess this matchup is super favorite in the player that actually hits the attack in the correct turn, and the player that miss the crucial turn, the VMAX or the GMAX overflow, or the Hundum in the crucial turn or the second Hundur is going to be actually game changing. It's actually, the games are so fast, right? We actually watch how the game ends, like 3-4 turns, the game is decided. So the player who draws better or hits better the cards probably has more chance to win. So interesting turn for Augusto. Marnie, Boss, Scrapper, Stadium, benching another Hundur. That's actually a lot of plays we want to remind. Urshifu cannot attack again because the attack says you cannot do it again. So you need to like switch or promote another Pokemon in the active to restart the cooldown of the attack. So thinking actually a lot of potential options like Hundum, Stadium. What do you think could be like the best play here for Augusto, Nico? Because there is a lot of potential good plays.
Yeah, I really like the play that he goes for here because actually, first of all, it enables him to use the balloon this turn because, as you pointed out, right, you can't use the attack again. So he would actually have to evolve either into his VMAX or get his one-off switch because there's actually only one switch in the deck. But by actually hitting the Tool Scrapper here, you get rid of Cataract's only tool. So after that, your Tool Jammer actually doesn't matter anymore. So you can just discard it with your Tool Jammer completely free because it's not going to be a single other tool that's going to be important in the matchup from your opponent's side, enabling your Balloon. And also something that I really liked last turn from Cataract's side was the attack with the basic Urshifu, which is something that a lot of people kind of tend to forget or don't really use because in matchups where you kind of don't want your opponent to take 3 prizes, for example, for free and you still want to hit, the basic Urshifu was actually a pretty good attacker because, I mean, for 3 energies, you still do 150. So in matchups like this, where your VMAX gets 1-hit KO'd anyways, there's not really any reason if you don't want to Rapid Flow to evolve. You can still just hit for 150. So that's something I really like because that puts this Urshifu into a spot where it either has to evolve at some point or can actually just get pinged down with Inteleons, making it easier for Cataracts to win the game. And now we see that it's kind of awkward for Augusto that there was only one Houndoom last turn. So might struggle here to actually attack because I'm pretty sure the Houndoom was benched this turn, right? So there is actually, if the ability was used, the bench Urshifu has damage already. So I guess we won't see an attack this turn, right? Because active Urshifu can't attack, and benched Urshifu doesn't have enough energies.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing that when you need like an extra Pokemon in the bench attack, only one Hundum for turn 1. For turn 2 was actually a problem because, you need to actually set up multiple Hundums to actually attach all the energies from the deck, and then when you actually throw them or discard them because your Pokemon get knocked out, you can actually use the Urn, and thanks to the Urn, you can actually recover some energies to use the Hundum ability again, and that's actually the Crobat saving the turn for Augusto thanks to that Hundum ability. Capture energy, and I guess that's a knockout because double strong energy hits for 220 exactly. A clean knockout, and like you said, it's interesting how both players decided to not evolve yet the Urshifus because, as you said, the Rapid Strike hits for 150, what is actually really nice because you can try to hit KO the Urshifu, and the Baby Single Strike Urshifu is hitting for 180 plus the boost of the strong energies, what is 200 and 220 to take a knock on this Urshifu. So I wanted to actually check it out a VMAX battle, but for now we check it out. We're just watching a basic Urshifu V battle, and Single Strike is winning for 3 prizes right now, but I guess Urshifu VMAX can still come back, and I'm sure it has still some tricks to try to come back in the game, right?
Yeah, for sure. There's actually a couple of ways how this can go down now, right? Because there's still 6 prizes on the Rapid Strike side, but also still 3 on the Single Strike side. So still not possible for either player to win in one turn. But that's one of the beauties about the Rapid Strike deck. You can actually just set up so many KOs that you can actually just technically even take 6 prizes in a turn, right? Because with pings, plus Rapid Flow, you can actually take out 2 Urshifus in a turn. So if we would see like a boss this turn onto a Crowbird or onto the Umbreon plus like some pings, we could see 2 prizes this turn and then 4 more prizes next turn. So there's definitely a couple of options here for Calyrex to still win, even though if you just look at the field and don't really know what each deck is doing, you would probably say that Single Strike has this one almost wrapped up, but there's just so many different damage counter plays and different attacker plays that the Rapid Strike can do that makes it awkward to win the game. But there's also on the other side the Single Strike deck obviously can evolve a couple of Pokemon, right? Because you can't really set up a KO this turn, so you kind of have to set up Pokemon to the to a damage point where you can still finish them if they're VMAXs, but you also still win if they don't evolve. For example, like the benched Urshifu. It needs to be in range to be KO'd by pings if you want to take out, like, let's say, a Crowbird and the Houndoom and then ping the Urshifu. But you also still need to keep it in a range where Rapid Flow would actually still KO it if Augusto decides to evolve, right? So it's definitely an interesting point here for like both decks. Actually, a lot closer and a lot more potential plays than I would have expected at first.
Yeah, because even if Rapid Strike Urshifu is losing 3 to 6 prizes, I'm checking it out and it's like, all right, Moltres already took 2 prizes, and next turn, if Augusto take a prize, a potential Raihan could come, and VMAX could finish the game with some Inteleon pins, and Passimian, for example, to take like the Urshifu V and Acrobat for 4 prizes. I want to remind there is no bench barrier in the post-rotation format, what means Urshifu is super strong because you can the opponent cannot stop the spirit damage into the bench. So actually maybe benching that Crobat for the capture energy for the knockout maybe means a potential lose condition if DangerousRogue is able to find the right hand Bmax plus Passimian to actually take the last 4 prizes into like Urshifu and Crobat, or just some plus one some Inteleon pins to take that 180 HP. So, well, Augusto was winning in a winning spot, but now if Augusto take 2 prizes, DangerousRogue definitely has an option to come back. So maybe a potential Marnie plus knockout is probably the best option for Augusto. So you put DangerousRogue at only 4 cards. That needs to be Inteleon, Bmax, Energy, Raihan, Passimian. It's like so many cards. So I will definitely probably try to go for the Marnie play, take a prize, and pray that DangerousRogue doesn't take the last 4 prizes in one turn thanks to all these combo cards. So let's check it out and let's see what is the Augusto option, right?
Yeah, something that we could also see here is that Augusto decides to take out the Inteleon, for example, because he would go to down to 1 prize, to 2 prizes. So you just take out 1 more Urshifu or the Moltres, and you take away the ping. And by taking away that 1 ping, you actually put Calyrex into a spot where Rapid Flow wouldn't even be game, right? Because you can't Rapid Flow and Boss in the same turn. So you couldn't just go for the Crowbat and then Rapid Flow active, and Rapid Flow actually doesn't take out any 2-pricer on the bench right now, unless you have enough Inteleon pings, right? Because let's say Moltres gets KO'd, then Rapid Flow plus 2 Inteleon pings would actually just, or like with Passimian, would actually KO the Crowbat and the active Urshifu. But if you would actually take away the Inteleon with a boss, he would still go down to 2 prizes, so you could still win next turn. But you would also make it a lot harder for your opponent to win. And if I'm not mistaken, actually, you would just prevent your opponent from winning. Because, there's no way to... I mean, I guess you could just, like, Moltres and Energy Switch and Boss, but that's, like, combined with Marnie, getting 4 cards or, like, a 5-card combo in a 4-card hand doesn't really seem realistic. So that could have definitely been a potential play, but we see Augusto decided to just KO the Moltres. Basically just tell to Calyrex, okay, either you win or I just win next turn. And we will see. Like, maybe Calyrex is able to win this turn with some Inteleon pings, a Passimian and a Rapid Flow, or we will just see Augusto take it next turn by attaching some energies with Houndoom, because he already has the Urn in hand, and obviously with Evolution Incense, he can always find the Umbreon VMAX, which, as you already explained, has a gusting ability, making sure that as long as there's at least one Urshifu or Moltres in play that can be gusted up, that Augusto is just able to take... Oh no, actually he's at one price, so he could just even gust the Inteleon. So yeah, as long as he gets to keep the sand and Calyrex doesn't win, he just gusts whatever he wants and takes the last prize card.
Correct, as you said, another play that you saw, it was the potential boss to the Inteleon instead of the Marnie, and that prevents completely to the opponent to actually win next turn, because Crobat will be at least 10 HP remaining. So with this Marnie play, there is a little open space from Rapid Strike Urshifu to win the game, but needs, as we said, after the Marnie, needs a really big combo like VMAX, Raihan, Energy, Inteleon, and Passimian. So that's so many cards to actually try to win the game. So it looks like Augusto in a really nice spot to take the last prize, thanks to the Evolution Incense or Boss Order to actually just take a Sobel, for example, for the last prize. So, well, maybe in this game 1, we actually see a Urshifu battle, Rapid against Strike, but against Single, but both players decided to not evolve at all the VMAX. Really interesting for both players to actually decide on purpose to not give any 3 prize attackers during all the game. So maybe right now we see a potential VMAX and attack at Urshifu, but sadly there is no comeback items, no comeback options like a stamp. So after this research, Augusto will keep the hand, and looks like Umbreon VMAX will win the game 1, right?
Yeah, definitely, because especially now after researching instead of Raihan, Calyrex would have to find a Moltres to get an energy into play, be able to energy switch, so that's already Moltres, energy switch, needs a net to pick up something to bench the Passimian, because Passimian is also needed. So that's at least like 3 to 4 cards that Calyrex needed after this research, and as we see, there's only a 150 into the active, and as we already said last turn, with the Urn, Augusto just has game in hand, and that's going to be game 1 for Single Strike here.
Correct. Umbreon VMAX. Ve la giocata. Umbreon VMAX taking the drizzle. And Escudetao Max for 160 damage, 220 with the boost of the strong energies. And interesting game 1, both players decided to not evolve energy at all. Really good strategy for both. What means, like you said before, a potential G-Max Rapid Photon 2 may come to hit double Hundur, for example, or 1 Hundur and 1 Urshifu V, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last game was really close, and I mean, Rapid Flow in this position, I mean, that's one of the very big advantages if you go first in those kind of matchups where both players don't only have VMAXs, like for example a Calyrex deck to evolve, but actually also those like quote unquote little basics, right? Like Sobbles, like Houndurs here. Which actually makes it like super easy to rapid flow multiple of them, and obviously Single Strike needs those Houndooms to work, right? Because otherwise you attach 1 energy per turn, and this deck does nothing when you only attach 1 energy. And yeah, I mean, if we only see 2 Houndooms in play, odds are very high that Calyrex just takes out all of them. But the good thing that Urshifu still has going for it is that Laser Focus still allows some kind of energy acceleration, but also something that we saw in the price check, or basically the Evolution Incense from Augusto here, is that there was actually only 1 more Houndoom in deck, and we saw 1 Houndoom and 1 Ordinary Rod enter the discard pile. So it's actually only 1 Houndoom in the deck right now, 2 more prized, and then we saw it again. And also, kind of unfortunate for him that he had to attach a fighting energy, didn't have the single strike energy in hand before, so also only able to laser focus one energy. So definitely far from optimal here, but now it's up to Cataracts to like capitalize on this a little bit slower start than last game from Augusto here.
Yeah, that was exactly same scenario than game one, where after the stadium used from Augusto, he just draw the Hundum are the only rod that needed to scatter with the research, and sadly for Augusto, same spot, same scenario, Hundum, Ordinary Rod, and research in the same hand. You need to throw them, and then after checking with the Blue Tunisians, bad prices. So, as we said, after Augusto won game one, Rapid Strike goes first, and that's a turn to double kill Hondur. And well, I don't want to say the game is kind of over, but I will say Rapid Strike is in a really good spot just because turn to kill double Hondur is too strong. So Augusto needs to actually try to put pressure with the Urshifu single strike V, and that's a weak ball for the last Hondur. There is no more ordinary rod, sadly staying in the escape pile. So this game Augusto will only have one Hondur at least for now. So well, let's see if actually Marnie gives an energy to actually attack for 180. And there is Stadium, what actually maybe gives you the energy you need, at least for a hit for 180 or 200 with the strong, and put pressure to the VMAX, because if not, that will be again another game at 2 price turn 2. Kind of easy this format. The game goes so fast. It's like, turn 2 you can just take a B price or just take 2 prices and put a lot of pressure with no comeback option. So that's a quick ball. Looking for Acrobat, definitely need that 4 strongs or 3 captures. It's like just need 1 energy. So definitely gonna bench Urshifu Acrobat for 5. That's the last chance to get an energy. Nope. So, well, kind of fortunate, right, Nico?
Yeah, unfortunate for sure. Especially, it would already be unfortunate enough as it is, right? Like, just missing your attack turn 2 is already, in general, very bad in this format. But with the knowledge that we have, that there's actually only ever going to be one Houndoom until Augusto at least takes another prize. Because, like, even if this, like, quick ball is for another Houndoom, which I'm not even sure if the last is in the deck, but yeah, it isn't even in the deck. So there's only one Houndour, one Houndour in play, only one Houndoom in deck. So it's at best going to be one. And at the very least, Augusto, in my opinion, to stay in the game, would have needed to be able to hit into this Urshifu, because the one thing that was still going into Augusto's favor is that Rapid Strike Urshifu doesn't have any way to deal with a full HP, 220 HP Pokemon, right? So ideally, this Urshifu would have been able to attack this turn. You hit for 180, then you evolve into Houndoom next turn. You attach an energy somewhere else, and then you can at least try to establish a board, right? But now it's like, okay, Augusto didn't even attack, so if Cataracts doesn't whiff an attack here, the Urshifu gets hit for 150. So you have the decision next turn. Okay, do I attach another energy into something that has already 150 damage? Can't really be used for more than one attack, and then I don't really set up the rest of my board? Or do I set up my board instead of attacking for 180 or like 200, depending on if he draws a single strike energy? But then you have no energies in play. So it's like, it's just a very awkward spot here for Augusto. And I have to say, I think if Cataracts is able to find an attack here, that I don't really see Augusto winning this game, because, I mean, there's already 2 turns, basically, where Cataracts was able to do whatever they wanted completely, and Augusto didn't really do anything, lost all of his Houndours, priced a lot of Houndooms, discarded the Ordinary Rod. So it's like, I mean, here we see the attack, right? Like, with this board, and you have to consider, right? Single Strike is normally considered the more aggressive deck, but now we have Rapid Strike in, like, already ahead as it is, and then we also have the like background knowledge that it's going to be so hard for Augusto to even set up something in this game.
Exactly. It was like, so many things happening at the same time. Just the Hundum price going second in a format that Urshifu can just turn to 120 double Hundur with the energy in the crucial turn, not even attacking. So the game looks kind of over in 3 turns. There is actually 2 Sobels, 1 Drizzle Evolve. Molta is ready to hit for 190, the Crobat, for example, for game. So yeah, looks like in a really, really complicated spot for Augusto, even with the Hundum, the last Hundum in the deck, and the strong energy. The VMAX hits for 310, what is not enough to actually KO the Urshifu VMAX, because you need at least 3 strong energies that actually boost your damage plus 20. So yep, I'm trying to think a potential play that maybe save Augusto to battle this game too, but looks like, Rapid Strike in a really, really good spot, and probably gonna win this game too. Augusto evolving the VMAX in the bench, trying to have a chance, deciding to not evolve in the Umbreon VMAX. That's a research now, drawing all the energies, 3 captures and the strong. So probably looks gonna hit for 180, but after the 180 hit, it's like maybe just Gmax Rapid Flow, Hundur and Urshifu wins, or just boss order into the Crobat, for example, with this Drizzle wins the game, because Gmax hits for weakness if you boss the Crobat, or exactly, there we go. Yep, looks like if energy in hand, it's gonna be game. There we go.
Yep.
That's the game.
Brilliant.
And we're going to the game 3, Nico.
Yeah, we are going to game 3, but I mean, this game, you just have to admit that it was just really unfortunate in so many spots for Augusto. I mean, not even, like, basically everything went wrong for him. Because, to be honest, we didn't see a lot of Umbreon action yet, so maybe, as we see the Umbreon start here, maybe that's the game. Maybe we'll see a little bit more of Umbreon.
Yeah, I kind of went to see more Umbreon action, because actually the weakness is grass, so not even affected for the fighting weakness. That's a really cool hand, especially with the research and the Hundur top deck and double quick ball. The only problem could be discarding double earn, maybe struggle for the late game. But in this format, I feel with no comeback option, you just go aggressive. I guess I will just double quick ball, double Hundur, and a potential Urshifu probably, so you can actually set up a turn 2 big knockout again in Urshifu B, taking 2 prizes and putting a lot of pressure to the opponent. So I guess there is, I will just discard double earn, what definitely is sad, because it's a potential card that recover the energy you discard. But we saw before, you can just attack with the baby Urshifu, hitting for 220. But this, and then evolve later, but decided to interestingly attach to Umbreon V, what means next turn if you evolve plus some strong energies, you can actually hit for 220, because the base attack is 160 plus 3 potential energies. If you draw the double Hundum, it's gonna be a potential 220 to kill the Urshifu Rapid Strike V. So DangerousRogue with some mulligans is definitely thinking if going for a strafe and save my Urshifu, maybe going for Keep Calling. Actually, Keep Calling helped a lot so far. And yeah, Augusto deciding to not use the Quick Ball yet, in case he getting Marnie, at least you save 1 earn. So that's a Passimian, a Balloon, and a Research. So looks like not a really good hand so far, because this needed to discard a Net, Inteleon, Bearkeeper, Marnie, but that's the Sobel, and maybe Keep Calling is coming. One of my favorite attacks. That's a second Sobel, and probably Keep Calling is coming. There we go. Probably look for another Urshifu and a Sobel. Let's see.
Actually, that's very interesting to keep in mind, why it made sense how Augusto played his hand last turn is that he actually had 2 urns in the opening hand, priced another urn because there was, during the price check, there was only 1 urn in deck, actually priced 2 single strike energies. So that actually takes away a lot of potential for single strike energy plays, because 2 are priced, had 2 urns in the opening hand, has to get rid of 2, so obviously only has 1 urn in deck, has no single strike energy left in deck now, so very limited options. Actually also priced double single strike Urshifu, so it's actually price-wise the last two games haven't been really kind for Augusto because, yeah, I mean, if like there's 6 prizes, 2 of them are single strike energies, 1 earn, 2 Urshifu, so it's like 5 out of his 6 prizes are definitely cards that he would probably hope to have in the deck. But yeah, I mean, Umbreon is powered up here, can do a little bit of shenanigans here, also won't get knocked out next turn, so definitely has at least some turns to take some prizes, pick up some of the good cards, because obviously, since there's 5 good cards in the prize, that also means you're basically guaranteed to pick up one of them at least if you take like 2 to 3 prizes. But yeah, energy wise, Augusto definitely has to be very carefully because, yeah, with 1 earn prize, 2 single strike prize, and 2 earns already in discard, could end up very awkward very quickly for him here.
Yeah, as you said, I was checking the prices too when he checked out the deck, and well, David or Shifu, 1 earn that here I took right now, but especially, I guess, the most important thing, because you have a Numbreon as a second attacker, that in this game is the main attacker. I guess the most important part of the game is like that double single strike energy price. That's actually gonna be annoying for Augusto, because if you want to actually power up Urshifu now, for example, with the Hundun, you cannot do it because all the energies, all the single strike energies are in feed right now. The other two are priced. That's actually super crucial for the potential game 3, because yeah, price wise, actually, Augusto is struggling with this double single strike price. So again, Rapid Strike Urshifu setting up kind of well after they keep calling. Double Drizzle is coming. That's a quick ball for a Dark Energy, I guess, as always. There we go, my favorite play. Quick ball the energy, put a Moltres. You can actually use the ability and research energy. Ability, maybe E-switch before research. There we go, and the research coming right now. Looking for a potential B-Max, probably I will say. And yeah, if a VMAX is coming, he needs to think, all right, do I kill double Hundur? Do I pressure the only attacker with this Umbreon because there is double earn in the discard pile? Interesting decision here. If you go for the attacker, if you just go for the setup Hundums, and he decided to go for, there we go, double Hundur. Interesting play for sure. Taking two prices, the energy discard, the basic darkness in the discard pile doesn't matter because you're gonna recover it with Moltres. That's the amazing synergy with the deck. And well, 2 Hundurs in the discard pile, but as we said, no more single strike enemies in the deck, right?
Yeah, I feel like Augusto has to be very happy here actually with the line of play that Cadrax went for, because that just gives him another at least 1 free turn of being able to attack with Umbreon, or I guess even 2 free. I mean, not 2 free turns because Moltres could in theory be powered up next turn. But gets at least 1 more turn of just being able to attack with Umbreon. Yeah, didn't really get damaged. And I feel like I would have liked, even without knowing, obviously, that there's a couple of single strike energies priced, from the knowledge that Cataracts has, like, you already know there's 2 earn at least in the discard pile, and at least 1 Houndoom gets left in play anyways, right? Even if you take out the Houndoom. So I kind of would have liked to pressure the attackers rather than going for the Houndours, because obviously that's like 2 easy prices, but it doesn't really help you, right? Because if this Umbreon can just like keep attacking, yeah, I mean, Augusto could just win in 2 attacks, but maybe that's also what Cadrax was scared of, right? Because this Umbreon could, in theory, take a 2-pricer. You could evolve into Umbreon VMAX, take out the Urshifu, or take out the Moltres, and then a single strike VMAX would just be able to, one-hit KO an Urshifu if, just like you said last game, it gets 3 single strike energies attached to it, and obviously by taking out 2 Houndoom and having 2 energies onto the Umbreon, you kind of prevent that play, but I still feel like you would probably rather pressure the attackers, and maybe like you could have even pressured the Umbreon and taken out one of the Houndours, but I feel like completely leaving the attacker that has 3 energies attached to it untouched feels kind of awkward, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I guess one attack at least of the Gmax Rapish flow should be always to at least the main attacker, right? I guess pressuring the Umbreon is the potential best play before, but well, as you said, there is in theory Moltres could be powered up this turn. It's a lot of potential combo cards, but well, there is a possibility right now. There is Inteleon. Well, right now there is no possibility to right hand because no price was taken. So that's actually Inteleon taking two trainers from the deck and thinking, all right, what is my best combination of cards right now with this Inteleon ability? Definitely not evolving Umbreon V. Is like kind of risky because Moltres V can actually take a knockout later, but if you evolve to Umbreon V Max, you actually give 3 prizes remaining to the opponent. 3 prizes to the opponent. What you can actually take with 2-hit KO plus a potential G Max overflow into the Hundum. Because even with Hundum is 1/3 HP, with some Inteleon snipes, you can actually finish the damage. So I guess Rapid Strike player definitely doesn't know that Augusto price. Well, you can actually maybe guess that Augusto price double single strike because Hundum is not using the ability at all. So maybe it's actually information that definitely is helping DangerousRogue to be like more safe, more like I can actually kill both Hundums because you cannot power up because you didn't use the Hundum ability these turns. But well, as another energy switch, so power up Urshifu from nowhere, what means it's probably gonna hit for 150 damage, or another Gmax Rapid Flow is maybe coming again. There we go. Gmax after Gmax after Gmax thanks to the Moltres ability and energy switches. And now, do you think it's gonna definitely hit the Umbreon?
I mean, I hope so, but I mean, there's still 2 targets that are not Umbreons, right? So we could still see no hit on Umbreon. But yeah, I mean, right now, you definitely, like as you said, you know that either there's no single strike energy in deck or that all of the single strike energies are in hand, because otherwise there's absolutely no reason to not use Houndoom, because yeah, at the very least you would use it if you had access to them, so it probably also can't be used next turn. And also, like, from Augusto's perspective, even especially because he knows, right? Like, he knows single strike energies are priced, earns are priced, my Houndoos just got KO'd. I would have really liked to see him evolve into Umbreon VMAX here, because now it's like he probably has to evolve at some point anyways, but now it's like both of his Umbreons are damaged anyways, and Cataracts actually got to get value off the Moltres, which obviously wouldn't have been the case if you just go Umbreon ability, KO the Moltres, because then you at least force your opponent to find another one. So now it's like, okay, you have no single strike energies in deck, so you force yourself to find at least an earn off of this, like, Mani. But you also don't really have anything other in hand, so you probably have to Umbreon now, but then you also have a Pokemon that has, like, you have a VMAX in play that has 140 damage. So it's like, it's very similar actually to last game, where it's just like Augusto is in a super awkward spot where it's okay, he probably can't take out the active, and then if he tries to take out the bench Pokemon, he puts himself into a spot where his opponent can just win in a turn or two, and it's like you can just find yourself in these kind of awkward positions against Rapid Strike so quickly, because this deck is just so able to take out your bench, set up KOs, just make life hard for you basically in every way possible.
Yeah, it was crazy to watch. All right, it was no energy in board, and then suddenly Gmax from nowhere, and after that turn, another Gmax from nowhere. I was like crazy to just how easy do you hit 240 damage at least every single turn. It's like 120, 120, 120, 120, every single turn 240 damage, and you cannot stop it because there is no bench barrier in the format. So after thinking a lot, Augusto decided to evolve the Umbreon to the Umbreon VMAX, opening a door to another win condition from Rapid Strike, what could be a potential KO into the VMAX, plus the Hundum in the bench with another potential Gmax Rapid Flow. But after using it 2 turns, there is 2 Rapid Strike energies in the discard pile, what definitely is going to make the play more complicated every turn because you getting low on resources. So deciding to actually go Evolutionist is to maybe put Urshifu VMAX in the bench, maybe with no single strikes, deciding just to go for the Marnie. There we go. But yeah, as you said, Nico, the prices this time are kind of hard for sure because you need the single strike and to attack, and you price 2 in the last 5 prices. Well, it's kind of unfortunate in this top 4 matchup. I'm definitely, and maybe that price is gonna stop Augusto to go to the finals in this GGtoor TCG cash tournament. Right now, Umbreon taking 3 prizes. What is 1 single strike? There's 2 single strike. There we go. So that maybe changed a bit the game right now. DangerousRogue is in a clock because maybe Urshifu takes the last prizes with a potential KO into the Moltres with the 2 prizes remaining. So actually really interesting this turn, right, Nico? I guess it could be the win could be like from both plays, right? From both players.
For sure, especially now that Augusto actually has access to his energies, right? It's like you kind of like you have so many more options now, right? Because you have your ability, you can try to take out the Moltres with like your like by evolving the other Umbreon. You could even I guess you can't take out the other VMAX because you can only use one ability, but just being able to take out the Moltres here or definitely makes things easy for Augusto because he already has Umbreon in hand. Marnie will be able to shuffle the energy to the bottom, so it's like, Umbreon takes the KO anyways, but let's say Umbreon gets KO'd, right? He already even has game in hand, right? Because okay, you can manual attach, you can use the ability for sure, and you have your Umbreon, which is your boss. But if we see a Rapid Flow here onto the benched Umbreon and the Houndoom plus an Inteleon ping, you actually put Augusto into a spot where he needs to find boss, right? Because he cannot KO the Urshifu if it's active. But then on the other side, Catrix also doesn't win next turn, so would still have to find like a switch card and boss to Rapid Flow plus Gale Thrust the not Rapid Flow plus Gale Thrust, like Ping plus Gale Thrust the Umbreon the turn after. So it's like there's definitely a lot of interesting plays, but I definitely want to see the Houndoom getting killed and the benched Umbreon here because that just makes it so much harder because you take away the ability, which is energy acceleration, and you also take away the Umbreon, which is another gusting effect, forcing your opponent to have boss exactly if he wants to win on the following turn immediately.
Correct. Playing Pokemon, we always try to find our win conditions, and if we cannot try to find the win conditions soon, we need to at least stop our opponent to win the game as soon as possible. If the opponent can win next turn with a combination of cards, and you cannot win, you definitely trying to look for the potential play, the potential comeback, doing a play that the opponent needs more cards to win the game. So right now, if you keep the Umbreon alive, Umbreon VMAX wins the game, Evolution Instinct wins the game. But
okay, that's just going to be game for Augusto here.
Yep, decided to just kill the Umbreon.
Yeah.
So instead of boss, Augusto just wins with more cards like Evolution Incense or Umbreon VMAX. So I guess Urshifu VMAX Rapid Strike should kill the Umbreon to try to stop the Umbreon VMAX possibility. But now, thanks to that knock on to the VMAX, Augusto has more chance to win the game thanks to the amazing Umbreon VMAX ability. Is gonna promote the Moltres V, and with the Stadium, he's gonna probably go Marnie. Thanks to that, the energy goes to the bottom, and Houndoom can actually take the energy from the deck. Really good turn from Augusto, and looks like Augusto is gonna be the first finalist with Single Strike Umbreon. Amazing deck, just the urn to be safe. At least one energy is in the deck, and Houndoom, the mono Houndoom, because Rapid Strike. Rapid Flow KO'd 2 Houndours on 2. Right now, thanks to the single Houndoom in play and after bad prices, Single Strike winning. And we have a finalist, Nico. Augusto winning this top 4, right?